Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. It's AniGamer here, and today we'll be looking at an anime called High School of the Dead, released in 2011. It is a romance, drama, ecchi, horror film, released in 2011. The story begins with a high school student named Takashi Komuro. He is shown on the school balcony, looking off into the distance. All of a sudden, a girl named Takagi appears and starts berating him, calling him stupid and names. He then begins to rethink on the times that he and his childhood friend Rei were together, and how she had proposed that they would get married someday. He questions it, saying, "So what?" All of a sudden, a man at the school starts banging on the school gates. This causes the PE teachers and staff to rush outside of the school and greet the man, who is giving off a bad vibe. The PE teacher approaches the man, grabs him, and the redhead teacher is concerned by his aggressiveness. The strange man bites the PE teacher, causing him to bleed out and die. The redhead comes to check up on him, worried and realizing that he is dead. All of a sudden, the man begins to reanimate, turning into a zombie, opening his eyes, twitching, and showing the white pupils. He gets back up as the redhead keeps asking if he is okay, and Nat says thank God. All of a sudden, the zombie bites her, panning the camera, and blood shoots everywhere. Takashi sees this, runs as fast as he possibly can through the school and down the hallways into his classroom. All of a sudden, the teacher asks Komuro, "Why are you interrupting this class again?" All of a sudden, Takashi walks up to Rei, tells her that they're leaving, and Hisashi walks over, concerned about what he's doing, and Takashi explains that people were killed near the school gate. Hisashi is in full disbelief, saying, "Are you serious?" And Takashi obviously responds with no. What would he get to gain from a lie? Rei pulls back, and Takashi slaps her, and Takashi just says, "Just listen to me," and they all decide to head into the hallway and down. Takashi then begins to explain how the PE teachers went to check out what happened, and now that the PE teachers are killing each other, they decide that they need to get weapons, and so they take some of the mops and brooms and they break them, making makeshift spears. And now they decide they need to get out of the school and call the police. Rei says her dad is there. Near the exit, Rei gets on her phone and tries to call emergency services, but realizing that the services are on hold, and it says to call back again later, that they are experiencing extremely high violence and as well as high call volume, showing that most likely they are already getting many more calls, presumably from the outbreak. All of a sudden, the school announcer comes on, explaining that a violent incident has taken place, and that all the students must follow the evacuation instructions and evacuation, and he continues to repeat this line. All of a sudden, he goes quiet and starts screaming as a zombie starts eating him. It becomes quiet. Everyone stares as he screams for help, and the camera pans into different places as Takagi walks over and says, "Let's run," and he continues to scream, "Help me, I'm going to die," as everyone in the school pretty much hears this announcement, and the camera pans showing blood on the intercom. Everyone's faces are in disbelief and horror, as shock then rolls off of the teacher's desk, shatters, and full panic is unleashed. Everyone runs, knocking each other over, shoving and pushing down the hallways, trying to get out of the school. Hisashi, Takashi, and Rei decide they need to go to the rooftop because the classroom building is too crowded. And Rei says that they should do what Hisashi says. On the school rooftop, they see a zombie walking, and that is the modern Japanese teacher Wakasaki, covered in blood, as he screeches at them fearsomely. Rei stabs him, and Hisashi grabs him from behind, but of course, the zombie is extremely strong, turns its neck around, and bites Hisashi on the arm. Hisashi, completely confused, screams out in pain from the bite. And Takashi runs over, trying to hit him. Rei stabs the zombie again, trying to get the zombie off, but won't know why he won't die and why he won't come off. Takashi says he knew it, that they are dead, but it's still moving. And the zombie bites down harder, causing Hisashi to lose more blood as Rei runs over, trying to pull him off of the zombie, as she starts yelling at Takashi to come over and help, saying he's a man and that he needs to do something. Takashi runs over with his baseball bat, screaming, smashes the zombie's head in, blood spurts everywhere. The zombie finally falls to the ground dead. They ask if Hisashi is okay, and he says it just ripped off a small piece of his flesh, which wasn't a big deal. But then all of a sudden they hear a girl scream as a zombie is on top of her and bites her, causing her to lose blood everywhere. They decide they need to go further up to the rooftop, and that they need to barricade themselves, and that there's an observatory there. All of a sudden they look out onto the city and see the destruction and chaos that is ensuing. They are obviously confused and questioning what is happening, and that it was just normal a minute ago. All of a sudden, a gust of wind brushes them as presumably Black Hawk helicopters fly overhead. Rei, confused, asks what it is, and that Hisashi says that it's the self-defense force, but there's no base around here, and Rei calls out for help, but obviously not going to work, because the self-defense force wouldn't fly all this way for nothing. So he presumes that they must have some kind of special mission, and that they're not worried about rescuing anyone. They also go on to explain that they are having to do with these dead corpses. They eat people, and that one who gets bitten dies, becomes resurrected, and becomes a zombie. But, however, smashing their heads is the only way to get rid of them. So they decide they need to get up onto the highest point and barricade themselves. They decide to dash for it, as they are surrounded by zombies on the rooftop, as they run as fast as they can, knocking a few zombies out of the way, as Rei gets knocked over by a zombie and attacks her, but thankfully Hisashi runs down fast enough and kills the zombie. Afterwards they barricade themselves in, as Hisashi isn't looking very good. He is covered in blood, his eyes are shallow, and he is pale. Rei is concerned, questioning why, that it was just a small bite, so why does he look so horrible? But Takashi says it's just like the movies. Once you're bit, you're done. Rei says that's not true, and that nothing in the movies can ever happen, but it did for everyone else. Takashi stands over, looking. Rei says, "Takashi, will you help me?" Takashi stands there, and he says, "Help you with what?" Hisashi points over to the railing, and asks Takashi to help him over the railing, in hopes that he would fall from the impact and smash his head in, so he wouldn't have to become one of the zombies. They all look at him in disbelief, and Hisashi, in a last desperate attempt, screams out in horror, saying that he's not going to become them, coughs up blood horribly, as Rei holds on to him, still losing blood. Takashi looks completely in utter shock, not knowing what to do, and Hisashi asks him to help him out, continuously. He wants to stay himself until the very last moment, coughing up even more blood. He finally falls, starts choking, and dies. Rei cries, saying he can't die. Slowly, he begins to reanimate. As the scene pans to the city and back to Takashi, as the sun glooms over him, he stands there, looking down, most likely knowing that he has to do it, that he's going to have to smash his friend's head in. Slowly, Hisashi begins to reanimate. Takashi notices it. He puts both hands on the baseball bat and gets into a ready position to strike. He asks Rei to move out of the way as he keeps his head down. Rei says he can't do it, and that he's not turning, that he's not becoming one of them, that Hisashi is different. Takashi says again to get away from him. All of a sudden, Hisashi starts to reanimate. Rei sees this, thinking that Hisashi is fine, but obviously is not. She can finally see that he's a zombie. Hisashi stands over Rei. She says, "What's the matter?" But he doesn't respond. Takashi tries to pull her back as Hisashi walks over, and Takashi has to do it. He says it's unrealistic and that he knows that this is stupid. Rei says, "Takashi." Hisashi walks over with his zombified corpse, and Takashi screams out, charges at Hisashi's reanimated corpse, and strikes him, killing him, ending the first episode of High School of the Dead. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Have a very wonderful day.